Hello guys, and today I am reading chapter 4 of Wings of Realms. So, yeah, let's get started. Chapter 4. Rex's heart pounded in his chest as he saw the king coiled on the throne, grinning wickedly. But the thing that caught Rex's attention was Tex, who was hanging behind the throne, dead. Rex's roar was filled with anger and pain. "No!" Rexus thought. "You monster!" Rexus roared at the king. Starspear stood behind Rexus, shocked and horrified. Rexus lunged at the king, roaring. Rexus clawed the king, but the only spot that left a mark was on the king's snout. The king didn't even wince. "You really want to kill me that badly," the king said, his voice so deep and slithering it made Rexus want to cut off his ears. King Midas stood up, ready to fight. King Midas's scales were red, and his underbelly was orange like lava, but darker. The king had patterns on his forearms to show that he was a god. The king's patterns looked like rivers of lava, and some of the patterns looked like dragon skulls. So the patterns were starting to turn purple, which means he was starting to go crazy, or what they called god insane. Rexus stood in front of the king, his claws outstretched and hissing. Rexus glanced around the room, looking for Starspear, but he didn't see her. "She's still here. I can feel it," Rexus thought. The king lunged at Rexus, his claws outstretched. The king clawed at the king. Oh my gosh! Rexus clawed at the king's underbelly, but his claws didn't even make a scratch. The king laughed wickedly. "You think you'd hurt me?" The king snarled, smiling wickedly. The king clawed Rexus's neck, ripping off the bag that was around his neck and drawing blood. A spear slammed into the king's side, but didn't pierce his scales. The king and Rexus turned to see where the spear came from. Starspear stood there with her talons raised and whispering. "Starspear?" Rexus said as Starspear flicked her talon and the spear flew back to her, and then returned to a normal spear. Starspear hit the king's snout, Rexus thought, without knowing what he was doing. Starspear glanced at Rexus and nodded. "I enchant this spear to stab the king's snout and then come back to me and return to a normal spear," Starspear said, glaring at the king. The spear shot towards the king and stabbed his snout and returned to Starspear's talons. The attack made the king's scales shift to a darker color. His scales were no longer immortal. Rexus lunged at the king, his claws outstretched. Rexus's claws dug into the king's scales, drawing blood. "This is for the tribe and my mother," Rexus growled. "Your mother is still alive, idiot," the king snarled. Rexus stepped back, shocked. "I keep her in the darkest dungeon, not able to talk to any dragons. I always torture her," the king snarled, smiling wickedly. Blood poured out of the king's snout where Starspear stabbed him. As the king raised his claws to kill Rexus, Starspear roared, and the spear shot towards the king's snout, and this time it stayed there, not letting the king talk. Rexus lunged at the king, landing on his back, and clawed both of the king's shoulders. The claw marks bled as the king tried to shake Rexus off. Rexus pulled the spear out of the king's snout and stabbed the king's chest, killing him. Rexus stood at the bottom of the throne, crying. "Why him? Why Tex?" Rexus thought. "It's not your fault. Tex's death will never be your fault. The king killed him, not you," Starspear said, walking up to Rexus and wrapping her wings around him. "He is hopefully in a better place with clear sight now," Starspear said, hugging Rexus. Rexus was a little startled, but he was too sad to care right now. "The king said my mother is still alive. Was he telling the truth?" Rexus asked, his voice shaky. Starspear nodded. "She's alive," Rexus thought. "We have to go save her," Rexus said. Okay guys, so that was chapter 4. The chapters are definitely getting longer now. But yeah, it's actually going really good. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Bye.